Hi everyone, welcome back to My Creative Ego. Today I have a tutorial for you guys. We are going to be making paper bows, but not just any paper bows. These are going to be around 9 by 7 inches depending on how you assemble them. I'm going to teach you guys how to make 2 different types of bows using one process, and you're only going to need 3 items. Right now you're probably thinking to yourself, wow! Awesome, incredible, amazing, fantastic! We need to zoom right into this tutorial right now, and I would say yes, I totally agree. So let's go ahead and get started. So the 3 items you're going to need are going to be a stapler, preferably a mini stapler. I use some scissors and trimmer. Trimmer can be found in the poster board aisle at most craft stores. I don't know, it's kind of hard for me to explain, but if you kind of remember elementary school and how your teacher decorated the classroom, sometimes they had that decorative trim that's around bulletin boards, and it kind of reminds you, they change it out like almost every single month, so it reminds you, oh, Thanksgiving's coming up, Christmas is coming up, that type of trim. So I hope I didn't confuse you guys, but 3 items: scissors, stapler, and trimmer. Step 1, take your trimmer and fold it in half this way. So when you find the midpoint of that, you're going to cut that in half, and then now you should actually have 2 separate pieces like you see right here, 2 flat pieces. You're going to take one of those pieces, you're going to fold this one in half slightly, you're just going to pinch it in the center where you see right here. And then you're going to take the outside pieces and you're going to fold them into the center like you see here. You want to make sure you don't press and crease the bow though. So make sure you just fold them up till you get to this point. You're going to take your stapler and you're going to staple it in the center. So you want to make sure you are holding those 2 flaps down when you staple it. And I actually like to do 2 staples in the center like you see right here. Now you're going to get your scissors, and you don't want to cut this all the way. So you're just going to create a little triangle, and you're going to snip a little triangle in the center, but you don't want to go past the staples. You want to keep that intact. So just below the staples like you see here, you're going to flip it to the other side and do the exact same thing. Next, we need to shape this so it starts looking like a bow. So you're going to take your scissors, you're going to angle it like this. So we're going to just narrow the center out just a tad bit. So the shape that you snip off should look like this. And you're going to keep this piece because this is going to be your template. So you're going to take this piece and then you're going to move it to all the sides of the bows. So you're going to have actually 4 times where you're going to use this piece. So you flip it to the other side, and as you can see here, this is where you want to snip, but sometimes it gets confusing, right? So I'm going to rewind it. So to remember where and how to put this template on each and every time, you're going to notice that there is a pointy end to this, which is a lot thinner, and there's a thicker end to this triangle. So the thicker end of the triangle is always going to face the staple side. So I hope this makes sense. So you're just transferring it on each side so that the top and bottom of the bow on both the right and left hand side match. Huh? And if my directions are confusing you, sometimes it helps just to watch the video. Now we're going to take that second strip that was left over, we're going to take a piece of it and we're going to wrap the center, so we want to make sure that we have enough room to staple it. So when you get that part, snip that off, and then now you're left with this piece. So what you're going to do is you're just going to take this piece and fold it in half. And this is going to be the tail of the ribbon. So you have a few choices. You can, if you are familiar with the way that you want to design the tail of the ribbon, you can do that. Or you can just narrow it down. You can start from where the fold is at, and then you want to make that narrow and have it widen out, as you can see here. Kind of like a fish tail, so, or a mermaid tail. So that's what you want to do here. And when you create that, you can keep it intact like this. So you should have a piece, actually you should have 3 pieces at this point. You should have 1, the bow, 2, the center of the bow, 3, the tail of the bow. So these are the 3 items, and when we go to assemble them, this is what you're going to do. You're just basically going to take the bow, you're going to wrap the center around that, and so you're going to use your stapler, and you're just going to staple it one time on the back. Now you're left with the tail of the ribbon, and that's super simple. You're just going to staple that on the right and left hand side, and now you have your bow. I'm going to show you how to do the second bow now. So what you want to do is you want to do the same process, and you want to make sure you have these 3 pieces again. So you have, again, the bow, the center of the bow, and the tail of the bow. And this is going to be a different style. So what we're going to do first is we are going to cut this piece right here because we want 2 separate pieces. So that's what you do here. And then for the center of the bow, you have options here as well. If you don't want the center of the bow to be really thick, you can always cut this down, as you see here. But you don't really want to press down and make a crease in the center though. So if you can prevent that from happening, you definitely want to do that because it will mark. So you want to make the center smaller, you can do that. And to assemble this, it's pretty much the exact same thing. First, you're going to take the center, you're going to wrap that around the bow like you see here. And if you need to trim it, you can definitely do that. And as you can see, when you go to put the center on here, it's really, really tight, so a traditional stapler can't fit. So this is actually where the mini stapler comes in, and you can use that to close out the center with 1 staple. And then you'll also need to take the tail of the ribbon, and I just staple these on. So you want to make sure that you're also looking at the front as well and not just stapling it on because it may come out unevenly. So you just want to make sure that everything matches up in front. Or you can also use adhesive if you want to reposition it later on. And that's pretty much the gist of the bow. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. It is a lot simpler than the tutorial. I just kind of wanted to take baby steps and kind of address everything just in case you had questions about the process, but super simple. It does not take this long just to make one bow. My tutorial and my talking is a lot longer, but it is a wonderful way to be able to decorate Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, graduation gifts, and I can't wait to collect more trimmer because this is what I'm going to use for Christmas decorations on all of the presents. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I know my tutorials are not as popular as the haul videos, but if you guys like tutorials, please let me know by subscribing, commenting, or liking, and then that way I'll add more tutorials as opposed to just haul videos. And that's going to do it for today's video. I thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to learn more about the trimmer, you can also check out my previous Hobby Lobby hauls. Thanks again, everyone, and have a wonderful week. Roll on down to the newest video by hitting subscribe.